Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome into our Saturday morning. And good morning. And my name is Lisa Gunshore. I think most of you know that who are watching this and are a part of this webinar today. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, excuse me, on a Saturday to join me to do some learning, and the comment box is available. So you can absolutely use that to comment, to ask questions, to share anything that you would like to share. And we are going to be going through the process of self-healing mold, candida, and parasites. But before we do, and good morning, Carol, good morning, Regina. Before we do, we're going to begin with the student teacher mantra. This mantra is a way to create an open space for all of us to learn and all of us to be here together learning. So we're going to start with that. So you can just, get comfortable in your seat, roll the shoulders back, sit straight up, and close down your eyes. Feel free to follow along if you know the mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviram Vishvashavahai Tejasvinavadi Tamastumavid Vashavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, 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 and welcome in. So we are kicking off one of my favorite things to talk about, which is self-healing mold, candida, and parasites. And so within my work, really since 2011 have I been working with mold, candida, and parasites. And I like to call it a biotransformation lab. There's a lot of use of the word biohacking, and hacking kind of has like a aggressive feeling, doesn't it, to be able to hack something. So I really like the term biotransformation. I feel that moves us more into the divine feminine. And so this lab today is the first of a 5-part series. I'll be teaching the other 4 parts of this series in January, and I will share more about that at the end of this webinar today. But you're going to learn how you might be affected by candida, mold, and parasites, and how to heal them naturally through spiritual practice and intuitive diet. So that is where we are starting today. And I just want to share a little bit about my story. So that before picture was me in 2006. So 2006 is when I opened my practice and began to work with people as a psychic medium and a spiritual counselor. And at that time, I weighed 247 pounds, if you can believe it. And let's see, 2006, I was still in my late 20s. So I feel like I look younger now than I did then. And the picture to the right is me last year. I am about 80 pounds lighter. I was 100 pounds lighter at one point, and then, you hit your 40s, and I've gained some back. And I share in my book, I have an author note at the beginning of my new book, Enlightenment Pie, that just published a couple of weeks ago, that, we can get out of our patterns. There's really no cure or, complete resolve to anything, but there is a way back into our center, and there's a way to heal once again. So that is a little bit about my journey. In 2011, I got very ill. I had several symptoms, including neurological symptoms that were really impacting me pretty negatively. And I found out I had candida and parasites and 20 food allergies. And that was really the kickoff to my weight loss through just transforming my diet and really learning about my own body. And I think I've never stopped learning about my body. And that's part of what I want to support all of you with as well. So I also went through a mold detox in 2016. Same thing, neurological issues came back. And this time it was mold. And we'll get into that here a little bit more. So what is toxic burden? I think that's a buzzword that's out there right now. So what exactly is toxic burden? So toxic burden is the amount of toxins within the body. It is made up of chemicals that come from food, water, air, and personal care products. So as we know, there can be toxicity in everything that is coming into the body, whether we're eating or drinking it, whether it's coming from our air, or it's coming from products around us that we didn't even realize were there. One of the things I learned through functional testing was that my body was overloaded with a type of flame retardant that's used on clothing. And I worked in retail for over 20 years. And so just handling all of those clothes from all of these different countries and places was actually impacting my health. And so that was one of the big moments where it's like, wow, like we don't even realize how much we're being impacted by our environment and by our food. And I think there's a lot of great education out there about what we eat and what we drink. And there's always more to learn. So toxic burden is this idea that when we become overloaded with toxicity, we start to experience symptoms. And these symptoms can be obesity, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, cancer, mood disorders, neurological conditions, headaches, migraines, tremors, cognitive difficulties. They're even seeing a link to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's from toxic burden, especially from mold toxicity. Allergies. So I had over 20 food sensitivities when I first tested several years ago, and those have actually reduced. And a lot of that has to do with the reduction of the burden of toxicity in my body. So it's kind of interesting. You know, one of my colleagues and trusted associates is a functional nutritionist, and she always shares this story that, you know, we're walking alongside a cliff, and every bit of toxicity is pushing us towards the cliff, and eventually we fall off the cliff, and that's when things really start to happen. And so as we back ourselves away from the cliff, so as we start to remove mold, we eliminate Candida, we, you know, kill off any parasites in the body, as we start to remove toxic burdens. So think about your home, removing, you know, one of the big things I did at first was like, I had plugins and candles and all those things, right? Smelly things. And those are full of toxins. So as I removed all of these things from the air in my home, it starts to back you away. As you start to eat clean foods instead of processed foods, it starts to back you away from that cliff. And as you do that, you're going to start to see these symptoms disappear, and food allergies especially can start to diminish. Toxic burden has a significant effect on the endocrine system. So when you have toxic burden, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, pesticides, any of these things, they start to damage the endocrine system. They're actually endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs, and they interfere with our hormones. And that hormone imbalance impacts our ability to regulate our metabolism, our neurological system, our sleep. It can cause thyroid disruption, metabolic disorders, and cancer. So why is this important to me as a psychic medium? Because our pineal gland and our pituitary gland are very important when it comes to connecting with and operating our third eye, our intuition, our lucid dream state, our ability to sleep and dream. And so what happens over time through toxic burden is we can see not only dysfunction in the endocrine system, but a calcifying in the pineal and pituitary glands, as well as that thyroid dysfunction. And it affects our ability to speak our truth through our throat chakra, our ability to see clearly through the third eye, and our connection to source through the crown chakra. And so keeping these areas clean and free of toxicity is very important to stay connected to God source, to yourself, as well as being able to regulate the body. Because when the thyroid is off balance and our metabolism is off balance, we can become very sluggish, which also impacts our ability to create, which is why we came here to the planet. So the endocrine system I have here in my presentation for you, because I feel that the biggest unlock for me in my own health and spiritual journey was understanding the endocrine system, what it means, and how it impacts us. So what is the process of self-healing, and what does self-healing even mean? I love this definition of self-healing so much. So self-healing is the power that we have to return a damaged part of our being to its original state through self-healing techniques such as yoga, meditation, or even massage. Before the world got complicated, people used the power within themselves to heal and restore themselves. So this is why intuitive diet, Ayurveda, yoga, and block therapy are my whole practice, and why they are so important to me, because understanding the nature and rhythm of our body, the nature and rhythm of the 5 elements around us and within us, allows us to be able to make decisions that affect our health. And the block therapy, using the block is a self-healing tool. Yoga is a self-healing tool. Meditation, spiritual practice is a self-healing tool. The more we're connected to ourselves, it can become very easy to identify what the body needs in order to heal. It also allows us to begin to work as a partner with our nervous system to be able to come into a connected, safe, calm state in order to heal. So I'm very happy to share that my brand new book is out, Enlightenment Pie, and it is about healing naturally. And my book includes natural detox, spiritual practice, intuitive diet, and resources. So I want to explain why I wrote this book. So I started writing this book in 2011 when I had my first health crises and was navigating Candida and Parasites. And I started practicing some self-healing techniques like contemplation and self-inquiry, asking tough questions about why I was in the place that I was in addition to navigating a brand new diet free of sugar and toxins so that I could heal. And within this process, I started writing down a lot. I was journaling a lot. I have several journals up in my bookshelf right over here with everything I've written down about all of this. And I really started to heal very quickly. And within 90 days, I was already feeling completely different. I looked younger. I'd already lost about 40 pounds at that point. Just within the first 3 months of like clearing out my space. And I'll share more of my story as we go forward into the new year. So I started writing this book because I thought, wow, this is like really great information. And I don't think as an adult at that time, I was 30-ish, I didn't really know how to take care of myself. And I was recognizing that in that moment. And so I started writing this book. And, you know, it took me a long time to really get to a place to publish. And I published my first edition in 2017. And that was really a lot about, the first edition was really a lot of sharing my story and what this process was that I healed. And even then, it wasn't fully developed. I think, my first edition was really just me getting out my story. And over those 6 years, from 2011 to 2017, I was really vibrant. I was focused on my diet. I was focused on my spiritual practice. I was following the Dalai Lama everywhere. That'll be in my second book. And, just really living life. And then in 2016, I was hit with mold. And when that happened, I had a near-death experience. I was unable to feel about 80% of my body because of neurological neuropathy around my body. I was having symptoms that mimicked MS, and I was really unsure what was going to happen. Where was I headed? What was I going to do? Was I going to be able to walk? What did this look like? And so that process was life-changing for me. And at that point, I picked up everything that I had been written, and I really spent the next year focused on getting this process in place. I was able to heal myself, and I used the exact same process. It's a 4-step process, and we'll get into that in a minute. And I was able to completely recover, which is kind of amazing, actually. And I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's and HPV. I have none of those things now, none. Completely healed all of that. And I do not have neurological symptoms either, which is amazing. So, it was really important to me to complete this process and publish my first edition. So that was 2017. Well, it is now going to be 2024. So it's been 6.5 years since I published my first edition. And in that time, COVID happened. And during COVID, Buddhist Biohacker was born, and I did a lot of work on a lot of different things. And I also went through my certifications for Ayurveda and quantum coaching and became a yoga teacher and all of these things. So over the last 6 years, what's changed for me from the first edition to the second edition is that it became really clear to me that when we're in an awakening process and when we want to heal ourselves, we need support. And I had to do everything on my own. I had to find teachers on my own, healers on my own, doctors on my own. I had to research everything on my own. And there was really no one to talk to about it except for my family and my close friends. And so it became really clear to me that what I wanted to create and have created, which I'm really excited to share today, because I honestly haven't talked about this very much and how this all works together until now, which is part of, what I wanted to share today is I was able to go through Enlightenment Pi and really refine and clarify this 4-step process. And I have also built an entire home study application with a community with over 1,200 videos to support you in your journey of healing. I don't want you to have to do this alone. I also don't want you to have to go out and find all the information. I wanted to create a container and a space where all the information was in one place so that you could find it and connect with it and be able to heal yourself and have support doing it and have a community to talk to about what you're going through and what you're experiencing and your challenges and your questions. And that's what I've created. So what Enlightenment Pi is, my brand new book, is my natural process for healing and a lot of resources and tools. I even have a grocery list in there to support you in how to heal yourself and the best way to heal yourself naturally and as financially accessible as possible, because I spent plenty of money, thousands of dollars on functional medicine, and that was valuable to me at the time, and I don't think that you need it. So I wanted to create something that's as accessible as humanly possible so that you have everything you need with minimal cost, because spending money on organic foods and the minimal supplementation you need is cost enough. So what is my 4-step process? So my 4-step process is very simple. It's become aware, become wise, practice, and trust. Spiritual practice, natural diet, and self-study is what created profound change for me. So through this 4-step process, I lost 97 pounds, and I also rediscovered my femininity. I don't have a picture today, but I definitely have a picture. And I was like in a man's shirt and jeans, overweight, frustrated with my life. And today I would not be caught dead in that. And it's not about the look. It's really about accessing my feminine nature. And so my framework for my coaching method and for my healing process is this 4-step process. So the first step is become aware. We experience vitality and achieve balance in our life through self-knowledge. And in the Vedic scriptures, they talk about svadhyaya, or self-inquiry. And what this is a process of identifying your patterns and dissolving your false sense of self through these practices of self-inquiry and meditation. We also have a lot of inspiring conversations, resources, and support about how you see the world and how the world actually exists to each one of us in the home study application community. Understanding the nature of reality generates love, and compassion can be achieved. And this is something that I learned through 7 years of following His Holiness around the country and working as a volunteer, that he always stressed the importance of understanding the nature of reality. How does reality work? You know, what does science have to say? What do metaphysics have to say? And how can we generate love and compassion once we understand the nature of reality? So becoming aware is very simple. It's really about waking up, right? Coming awake. And there are processes within Become Aware that I talk about in my book and also in all of my courses and videos, which is meditation, contemplation, self-inquiry, and journaling. This is your spiritual foundation, or your crust of the pie, is being able to practice meditation. Contemplation is really just thinking, journaling about what you're thinking about, and self-inquiry, asking yourself those tough questions. The second step is becoming wise. So my journey of self-discovery led me to functional Ayurveda as a vehicle to profound healing. And so what is functional Ayurveda? So I want to share that. Ayurveda is translated to the knowledge of life. And what I practice is feminine form Ayurveda. So in feminine form Ayurveda, we're asked to trust the wisdom of our own experience and in the knowledge that lies within our own body. It's intuitive. It's connecting with ourself. Functional medicine focuses on identifying the root cause of disease. So this is comparable to Ayurveda because both functional medicine and Ayurveda look beyond the symptoms to the imbalances within the physical, emotional, and energetic bodies. This extracts dis-ease at the root. So my practice is a combination of functional testing and minimal supplementation, as well as healing naturally through Ayurveda, which is through diet, the balance of the 5 elements, and nutrition. So within Become Wise, part of it is learning about ourselves. Like I said, I didn't learn really about myself or about my body until I went through these health crises. And one of the tests that I work with the most is the OAT test, or the organic acids test. The organic acids test tests for bacteria, mold, candida, and mitochondria. And we're going to talk about what happens if you can't afford a test. So don't worry, like I have options for everyone. So the organic acids test is a snapshot of your overall health with 76 markers. So it actually provides an evaluation of your intestinal yeast and bacteria. It also looks at mold. It also looks at your neurotransmitters and your glutathione and all the natural processes to methylate the body or detox the body. There are lots of reasons to do the oat test. This is an image of part of what the oat test looks like. It's a urine test. It's very easy. I send you the test kit. And you're going to find out about your mitochondria, your nervous system, neurotransmitters, folate, B vitamins, all of these things. So there's a lot of information you can learn about your body from the oat test. And so just to go back to the testing and really to go back to become wise, what I want to say is becoming wise is about learning your dosha in Ayurveda, understanding your food allergies, using functional testing like the oat test to understand where your toxic burden is coming from and how to eliminate it naturally. Practice is the third step. Right? Practice, practice, practice. I remember this Doreen Virtue card that was practice, 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 right? And applying these self-discovery tools is a commitment to yourself. We have to have a daily practice, or we want to have it, right? The daily practice helps us to stay fit, physically fit, mentally balanced, spiritually connected, and emotionally strong. So part of practice is the yoga, the block therapy. But it's also practicing meditation, contemplation, journaling, and self-inquiry. It's putting into practice the nutrition pieces, you know, cooking recipes and, you know, taking all of the information that you learn and actually applying it. So within practice, I have my Buddhist Biohacker portal. This is my home study application. This is a great support tool for your practice. I live stream all my classes. That's part of your membership in here. You have recipes, you have community to connect with. There's courses and workshops. There's all sorts of incredible things. And one of the things that I do that's specific to mold, candida, and parasites, and really functional Ayurveda, is that in my community, I do pulse checks once a month. And within these pulse checks, we can connect in about your health and see where you're at, see if there's any supplementation that you need scripts for, see if there's any questions you have about recent tests or things that are happening, you know, symptoms that are happening in the body. So it allows me to support you in as an accessible way as possible. The final and fourth step is trust. So staying motivated and inspired is challenging, right? How many of us have, you know, been on a diet and it's like, oh, I don't want to keep going. So my mission is to uplift you through all of my content and my group engagement, one-on-one interactions with me. This allows us to build trust with one another through a journey together and, you know, achieve the self-knowledge that we want to achieve. And when we do that, we trust in spirit and in the interconnectedness with all things. So what happens if you can't afford testing? It's okay. One of the things that I have done in my book is I have put together, these are all pages from my book, with resources and tools to heal yourself. The intuitive diet that I share in the book, it's not really a diet, by the way, it's really more of what foods are the best support for you. I have combined mold, candida, parasites, anti-inflammatory, all of these diets together so that you can take a shopping list. I actually have a shopping list in here. So you can take a shopping list to the grocery store and have all of these options to cook with and eat that are going to take care of all of those things. So the data is really if you want the data. For me, I wanted the data. I like it. I want it. I want to see it. I want to know what was in my body. But if that's not where you're at right now, you don't have to have the testing to have the support. It's really there for you if you want it. But all of these resources here are going to support you in being able to heal yourself through my book alone. So what's next? So we know that we have toxic burden, all of us, because this is the reality of our planet at this time. We know we want to heal. I think many of you that connect with me are in a place where you want to heal your body, you want to live longer, you want to feel stronger, you want to be in a happy and healthy place. So I am offering a 4-class course over 4 weeks in the month of January. I thought January is a great time because that's when we're starting fresh, right? That's when we're starting fresh with our life. And so with that, the Biotransformation Lab to self-heal mold, Candida, and parasites is going to start the first Saturday in January, and it's 1 hour for 4 Saturdays, where you're going to learn how you're affected by Candida, mold, and parasites, how to heal them naturally, and how to use the spiritual components, because mold, Candida, and parasites each have a spiritual connection to you as well as a physical one. So what you're going to learn in this course is how to understand the symptoms related to Candida, mold, and parasites. You'll understand the metaphysical purpose and explore your own connection. You'll learn tools for self-healing, such as meditation, self-inquiry, nutrition, and supplementation. You'll learn how to test your body for mold, Candida, and parasites and what to do with the data. You'll receive a nutrition plan, shopping list, and additional resources. And you'll also join in a private social community group to share your own experiences. So I have a few different options for the course because, again, I'm very mindful of the financial accessibility for this. So there's a course-only option. So if you just want to take the 4-week course, you can take that option, and it's actually only $177 for the 4 weeks. And the course will be virtual and in person. So if you're in Colorado, my office and meeting rooms are in Centennial, Colorado, which is a south suburb of Denver. So if you're in town, I'd love for you to join me in person. It's going to be a really great way for us to create community. And I will also be offering this virtually at the same time. So you can join virtually because I know a lot of you are also across the globe. The second option is the course plus the OAT test. So this would allow you to take the organic acids test to look at your mold and Candida markers in addition to taking the course. You can also do a course with the stool test. The stool test is also pretty simple to do, and that one's going to tell you about parasites. And then the fourth option is the course plus the OAT and the stool. If you're like me and you want all of the data, that's going to tell you your metabolic markers, your parasites, mold, and Candida markers if you want all the testing. If you do one of the testing options, so if you decide you want to take the course and also do the test, what will happen is you're going to receive a test kit with instructions from me prior to the course starting in January. It takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to get your test results. So I want to make sure you can send your test in prior to this course so that we have the results, because I think it's very interesting to compare those results to what you learn in the course, because part of the course is learning how to read the results. So you'll get the test. You're also going to get a 1-hour private session with me to review the test results at the end of the course. We'll make a plan. We'll talk about any supplementation that you may need, your nutrition plan, and you'll get a free copy of my book. So those are the 4 options for the course. And again, it runs for 4 weeks, and you have all of these options. And my goal is that my experience was really great. I have an amazing functional medicine doctor, and it was definitely focused on the testing and the supplementation. My focus is on the education and the self-knowledge. So I really want you to learn how parasites, mold, and Candida link to our lack of worth, our codependency, our vampiric energy we let feed off of us. So we're going to be working through more of the emotional and spiritual components, which is what I believe healed me, was working through those components more so than just the diet. They work in partnership together. So my course is going to be teaching you what these things are, but how they impact you emotionally, and then how we heal them And then again, you'll get a one-on-one with me to review your test. And that's all included in the pricing. I definitely included some discounts with the pricing if you're doing the course and the oat test, and also the session with me. I do have a way for you to do this work one-on-one. So if you don't want to do the full course, or maybe you do and you also want to do this, what I offer in my own practice is a functional Ayurveda package. So in that package, you get a 1-hour intake with me where we just talk through where you're at with your health. You will get a functional test of your choice that's a $300 value. So that's included in the package. So we talk in the intake about what your focus is, because if your focus is hormones, we're going to do a hormone test. If you want to look at Candida and mold, we're going to do an oat test. If you're looking at heavy metals, we're going to do a heavy metals hair test. So there's many different tests. They're all listed on my website on the Functional Ayurveda Clinic, but one test is included in this intake. We have another 60 minutes together to review your test results. We have 60 minutes together to create a biotransformation strategy, and we have another 60-minute follow-up. So it's a total of 240 minutes, and it's about 4 months of work together, 3 to 4 months, depending on how long the testing takes to get back. And you also will, this includes access to my client portal to support you as well. So it's going to allow you to be in my client portal during that time. And the package price, I've actually split it into 3 payments over 3 months to also make it as easeful as possible for you. So that's a way to work with me one-on-one, which you could do in addition to the course or separate from the course. So again, I offer the support for self-healing. Self-healing, I just want to go back to this definition because I love it so much. Self-healing is the power that we have to return our damaged part of our being to its original state. So what can you expect? You know, working with me, working with this course, looking at mold, candida, and parasites, you're going, and really just getting my book, honestly. And my ebook is on my website, so you can get it straight from there for $11.11. But my book's available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all that stuff. So you can get it wherever you want. I'm really excited about that. So just accessing my book is enough. If you want more, you can join my home study community and application, and that's only $33.99 a month. And like I said, there's videos, and I'm really excited to share that we're going to start January 1st with a year of personal transformations. We're actually going to go through my book over the entire year of 2024 and read it together. And I have so much content. You all, I have over 1,200 videos. I have my book. I have these maps and diets and guides and resources. So we're going to go through this all together, and there'll be other courses throughout the year. And this is all going to be available as part of this community. It's very easy to join on my website. You just go to learn and click on home study application, and it's right there for you. So what are you going to do? You're going to transform your life. You know, that's what we're here to do. So you're going to learn how to be mindful of your physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. You're going to become clear about your spiritual body and your karma and how that's affecting you. You'll learn basic practices to move through your inner work. You'll build a relationship with your body, and you're going to learn how to utilize self-inquiry and functional testing to find out as much as you can about your body and yourself. You're going to understand the basics of mold, candida, and the folate diet, and how to begin the process of managing your food sensitivities. You can also discover your genetic profile with me in my point of conception package, understand the frequency of food, and learn how to cook with high quality ingredients, learn wellness routines, spiritual practices, and movement therapies like block therapy and yoga, and how to incorporate those into your life. You're also going to be able to hold yourself accountable through my one-on-one coaching and support. So all of that to say, that's a lot of information. And thank you so much for joining me here. And if you are watching the replay, you can certainly ask your questions and comments in the comment box below. But if any of you here live have questions, please put them in the comment box. I'd be happy to answer them for you. But I want to share, you know, this is really my life's work. This is let's see, 13 years of intense study and personal work. I mean, my body has been my own biotransformation lab, and I'm very excited to share all of this because there's an important piece of working with functional medicine and nutrition and all of those things. There's also the spiritual components, which I don't think are talked about really. And the spiritual components, I believe, are really the vehicle for healing. Regina, the cost of the oat test. So this is a great question. What is the cost of the oat test? So the oat test is typically $300. And with my package, I'm offering the course, the oat test, my ebook, and an hour with me to make a plan with the oat test for $555. So I tried to make it as affordable as possible. So that is different from the functional Ayurveda package, which is all one-on-one. So that one's $9.99. But yeah, the oat test by itself is $300. So I'm offering $555 oat test, the 4-week course, my book, and that 1-hour session with me to review everything. So hopefully that answers your question. The stool test is a little more. The stool test is $320 by itself. And so that is just a little bit more. It's $600, same thing. 1 hour with me, stool test, and then the course as well. And registration is open now, and you'll receive an email with that information from me. I'll also put a link here on the replay so that you have the information to register for the course. So the registration is open, but the first class is not until the first Saturday of January. So you have time to sign up and get in there and be a part of it. So I'm really excited about that. And my book's available now also anywhere if you are just interested in that. Any other questions today? Again, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I really have been wanting to share with everyone what I've been working on my hiatus, and I am no longer on hiatus. And I'm excited to share as many resources and tools as I possibly can with each and every one of you. And I definitely follow up with comments and questions. You can email me, you can comment in the comment box. And I really hope to see you in the community. It's a really beautiful space. It's private, it's uncensored, and it's a place where we can connect and join together. And so thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this time and space, and have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Bye.